Welcome back to Vegas Live with Ninon. Of course, you know where I am. I'm in Las Vegas. It's the empire of the world for music and entertainment, and everybody is here. But we've all had this little kind of shutdown and things going on. And as you know, performers and musicians and all these people are out there. But there is also a good side to it because they've had a lot of time to actually do projects that they never did because they've been kept in their homes. So it's turned around with doing things they really want to do and really love but never had time for. So on our show, we look at the positive side of it. And I have Tom Mazzaro with me. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nina.
You know, with everything going on, as you just, with my introduction, has it affected you that much as of, because I know you've been performing.
On a limited basis, that is correct.
But that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always been, it's rather limited. You know, you can come in from, 5 to 10 and you've got to stand 100 feet away from everybody. Yeah. Tough?
Where it's been tough, twofold. One, the work has been cut down.
Yes.
Some of the work that comes back, budgets are tighter.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah. That's right.
You're thankful that at least they're bringing
performing.
Something out. And some of the folks who I had established relationships with are no longer in those capacities. So it becomes a learning process again to reconnect with folks.
We don't understand all that because they've been let go. Why would they hire them when they don't need them and there's no performances, there's nothing going on, so out you go. I thought a lot of these people were actually still keeping them on.
To some degree, depending upon the level of
who they
of
are.
the job. Yes, that is correct.
So it's always the ones at the lower level that kind of they're out and they have to find something else.
The relationships with presidents and general managers, I do not have. It's
well,
below them.
You're now going to start doing that,
right?
You're going to learn to know everybody, I guess. But it's been pretty good for you. We've seen you out. We've seen you doing your thing with plastic things in front of you.
Yeah.
How is it to sing? I've seen these plastic covers in front of the drums, and I've often wondered why that happens, because the whole idea about a drummer is to hear it.
Correct, but there are some drummers who play a little louder than others, and so it becomes more overpowering, and sometimes that glass is put in front of them to sort of mute that sound.
To mute that sound so they can actually hear you sing.
That would be, and it is not as loud to us as a performer. To my ear.
Yes.
And then there are other drummers. My particular drummer, John Grego, he's a quiet drummer.
Yes.
So
he doesn't
he never
really
has
need
a glass
that.
in front of him. He does not need the glass in front of him.
He does not need that. Now, but you had this plastic thing in front of you.
Still do.
I thought this was all kind of over.
Well,
it is and it isn't.
Yeah, it depends upon the location you're at. But what happens is, reflectively, for people who want to do pictures, depending upon what might be on a screen behind them, they get the reflection on it. Yeah. I've gotten used to it. I'm not able to go out onto the floor like I would generally and do things and be more interactive with the audience.
He likes to be with the audience.
I do. Yeah, there's no question about that. I'm sort of from a somewhat of a theater background, so when you're able to go out into the audience and push that wall that would be between you and the audience behind them, they now are part of the stage.
And they become part of everything.
Right.
So
but I'm now behind that glass. The one positive thing is I'm never hit by a tomato. It never hits me, so I'm perfectly fine.
He says tomato, I say tomatoes. Or eggs.
Yes.
No
eggs either.
No eggs either. But does it mean that you have to project a little louder, or does the sound go over them?
Oh, well, no, because you've got your sound engineer. And your speakers are outside. And so that's not an issue there. The audience hears what they have to hear. I might be, depending upon where I stand in a triangular glass in front of me, you might have a little bit of a muffled sound for an instant, but I just simply move, so I eliminate that sound.
So how's it going for you? You're at the...
We're over at the Piazza Lounge in Tuscany.
Oh, the Piazza Lounge in Tuscany.
Yes, and
which
we
is
are
fabulous. You've been there for some time now, since June.
We've been there, yes, when they called us back, we've been there since June. We've actually been there for the last couple of years.
Yes.
But we are now on Mondays, the first and third Mondays of the month.
Of the month.
Yeah, so
that's a
they've
regular
increased that. That's become,
month.
Yes.
So that's every month.
That's every month.
So would you have anything else that's in the arena at the moment?
No, nothing concrete. Lots of people that say, we got a project, we've got this happening, we got that happening. I think any musician, entertainer knows that has some experience, lots of things are said. A lot of things never materialize.
Well, that's typical. That is really, and I hope a lot of the people in the industry understand that, because people say, "Oh, I'd love to have you here, and I'd love to do this." It happens to me as well. I'd love to be on your show, and I'd love to do this. Then you try to get hold of them, and you can't find them. So it happens. That's typically the entertainment and the music industry. That's just how it is. It's just that's just how it works, because something comes along that's there, and maybe it's better money or something, and that you have to do. So what did you do within all this time, this free time you had? Did you manage to you write music, right?
I do not write music. I can be rather wordy. So I can come up with some lyrics, but I'm not a music writer. There's no question that it would be nice to have had a background.
Have you tried it?
I remember telling someone years ago that I should learn how to read music, and she told me, if you don't, 35 years from now, you're going to be in the same boat. I'm in the same boat, but with a lot more experience. I was
going to say, but you sing
Sinatra didn't read music. Tony Bennett doesn't read music. There's a number. Engelbert didn't read music.
There's a lot of people that don't read music.
But they were surrounded by those who did.
Yes.
Einstein was not a mathematician. He was a genius physicist, but he hired mathematicians to take and put on paper what he could conceive.
He could think, and he had it put on paper. You know something? That's what most CEOs and owners of company do. They don't know their complete company, so they hire somebody to take over what they can't do. And it's very wonderful. I never knew that was in the music business too. That's if you can't read. See, I've learned something now. Now I know what's going on. So, did you bring out any new records or CDs or anything? Have you done anything like that?
A project that I was prepared to begin with before COVID occurred has been delayed. However, I've been given that year to sort of put together something that, and I'd love to talk about it, but I can't, just because.
It's always typical. It's typical.
I can assure you, though, based upon my research, nobody else has done what we intend to do in the way we're going to do it in this town. So we're at a point, we're ready to do some video as a promotional piece and begin to sell it. But not quite there.
Not
yet. And just like the story I just told you before we went online.
Which was quite a funny story.
You sort of begin to not say things
because somebody else will take it.
The potential's always out there.
Especially in the entertainment and music business.
And people can move much faster
I'm not saying they steal it. No. But if they can steal it, they will. But that's in any business.
Yeah, that is correct.
Any ideas, so it's not only in the entertainment, but in any business, if you have a great idea and you tell somebody, you've had it.
Right.
That's the end of that.
That is true. And then there's lots of people well beyond me who can move along a project much faster than I can. So I don't want that to happen. I want to be able to give myself a fair shake here.
Yeah.
But I will assure you, when it comes out, you'll go, wow.
Wow. You sound like Bill Gates and Elon Musk. They have something coming out, but we can't tell you.
Right.
It's so funny because it's like, okay.
The only difference between us is they have a tad bit more money than I have. But other than that...
And it's only money. You know something? In the end, it's only money. I've had money, I've not had money, but they can't take my brain. They can't take my voice, and they can't take my brain. Yeah. Well, they don't want my brain anyway. Voice maybe yes, but nobody wants this brain. That's for sure. That's for sure. So when you put all your music together and you're singing at the Tuscany, do you choose your songs or what you want for that evening or for a Monday? Is the audience on a Monday night different than it would be on a Saturday night or a Friday night? I often wonder if people choose music for the different evenings.
I don't. What I can tell you I do though is the band through the time of playing with them. We're at a point where we've got 120 songs that we know. So there's never a night that you will ever experience the same songs being played repetitiously.
No.
I like to mix things up. I would bore myself to death singing the same songs every single time.
Yes.
So if
you'd be a perfectionist at them, though.
Well, that is true. When that's why I have posted before, when I try to let people know what's going on, we have songs, the same songs, that are interpreted differently each time. My guitar player, John Falbo, I mean, he's not just mine. He's been playing for years.
Yes.
But when I get something,
yes.
I use him. Sometimes John will go into a song and I don't know where it's. I look at Red Michaels and I go, "Where's he going with it?" He goes, "I don't know. Just hang on." So, and all of a sudden he comes in where he needs to come in, or where I need to come in, one of the two. But it's creative. And so that's the whole idea behind it. Robbie Robinson on the sax. He can't blow like he used to blow in his youth. But nobody blows with the style that he's got. And he's a less is more type of guy. So he just interjects his sax playing where it's a nuance. And when you listen to the after effect, it's like, wow, that sounds great.
Do you know, I've often wondered, how do people in the band, how do they know, and I'm learning, how do they know when to come in and when to go out? I mean, obviously you rehearse, but how do you remember it all? I guess they write it down on their music, or they just know.
They at this point in their careers and lives, they just know. I'm the baby there on the stage, so I work on learning. I work on learning the words. And trying to remember the words. Do I remember them every single time? Absolutely not.
Oh, really?
Will they cover my butt when I forgot? Absolutely they will. So I'm thankful for that.
And the funny thing is if the audience doesn't know you forgot your words, and the audience doesn't know any particular mistake, they don't know any of that.
The only thing that they will certainly know is if you hit the wrong key. They'll know that.
Oh, they will. Okay.
But if I used to, who was it? As a kid, I used to watch him on Mike Douglas, Harry Belafonte. When he would take words from the audience members and he'd make a complete song out of it. So he was able to put in words that were necessary that either rhymed or flowed with what he was trying to do.
So he would flow it. So if he forgot something, he just flipping a few words there.
So sometimes there'll be moments where and it's not that it's a trade secret, there'll be moments where I will put a word in there that rhymes.
But it might not be the right word.
But many people in the audience don't necessarily pick up on it because, as my music teacher told me years ago, my vocal teacher, half the audience is barely listening to, or you even remember what you did song after.
Yes.
And by the fourth song after what you just finished, 10% remember what you did. So there's a half listening.
Well, yeah, because you've also got them, they're sitting there drinking and they're talking. I've often, in Europe, we're a little bit, we listen to our performance more than they do here. I've noticed in a lot of the smaller lounges here, a lot of the audience that just yak, 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 but quite in loud voices too, and not really paying attention. And I'm thinking to them, why did they come here? Why are they all talking and not listening?
Well, I suspect probably because it's free. They're in the lounge having a drink. Now, if you're a customer or an audience member who has paid a ticket, you're more inclined to pay more attention to it, especially a smaller venue like that. If you paid a ticket to see the Stones in an 80,000 seat arena, you're making a bunch. You're making noise.
Well, that's a theatre style anyway.
Well, yeah, but they're making a bunch of noise anyway.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But I never thought so. Of course, in these lounges, nobody pays to go in. They just walk in and walk out.
For the most part, and you're thankful as an entertainer. You're thankful that they come.
Yes.
And you look for that support where they might have a drink or two or maybe some food and stuff like that. And I do have those who like to hear me, so they will come in whenever I'm performing.
Your followers.
Some of your followers.
Now, how do you sort of, you're out there and you've got all this competition, because there's a lot of competition now, especially in Vegas, and how do you get your audience? How do you try to sort of make your audience come back and make your audience bigger? Is it being more professional? Is it the way you sing? Is it bringing them into it?
One of the things that I've always had people comment on is they will say, you look like you're having fun on stage. I do. I truly do have fun on stage. If I look like I'm bored to pieces,
they'll be bored
you've
too.
Lost the audience then.
Yeah.
And I always try to make sure I look at the audience as I'm performing because
you bring
you're
them
attentive.
Into your song.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember when you're focusing on, and you're not necessarily looking at anyone's specific face, but you're looking in a direction. For the moment, they feel like you're singing to them.
Right to them,
and then you do another glance in another place.
Fabulous feeling when you think that, although they're not eyeing on you and say, I want to eye on this one and this. But I know that when I go out there and I give speeches, I have somebody on the left, somebody in the middle, and somebody on my right. And that's what I sort of focus on, because I know this person is laughing and joking, makes me happy. And then this person, they all three do roughly the same thing. Whereas if I'm just focusing on somebody, they're just looking at you, that doesn't give you any incentive to sort of, as you in your
certainly
place, sing.
Oftentimes you'll hear performers in a larger venue who may not feel comfortable if they actually had to see the audience. The lights are bright enough where they can't, you really can't. Some venues, you can't see the audience. So you're thankful for that sometimes. Because there might be something an audience member's doing. It's like, oh my goodness, and they try to look in the other direction.
I didn't know that was happening. So everything's going very good for you.
Yeah, it's a slow process. Things are wakening up again.
What are we? Are we 50% of the restaurants now, or what are we?
Correct. And from what I had heard and read, I guess come May 1st, which is what the 50% will stay till, then the counties will receive the control as to how they want to bring back their counties. So I'm certainly hoping that Clark County, will maybe increase the percentage.
Yeah. Because each governor can do his own thing and lay the rules and everything.
Yeah, I guess the caveat when he did speak back in March, if I remember correctly, was barring, not using those words, but unless something else occurs, the counties will receive the control.
Absolutely. So you're looking forward to that May 1st?
I am, yes. Yeah.
And I think, when you look around, you see the traffic, you look at the hotels and everything, they all become very busy. And I don't see the distancing of anywhere, but how do distant people in a casino? I will never know. You can't follow all of them.
Well, no, and I certainly, and I think I read, but don't quote me on it. But, you can quote on the fact that what I read is correct, but whether or not it's correct, I don't know. Was they wanted to decrease in Clark County, or at least in the casinos, from the 6 to a 3 foot rule. But I don't know that as a fact.
I don't know whether that's going to apply in a hotel, but who knows? I do know, because you notice that when you're walking anywhere, you always notice that this person goes over to the left and this goes to the right, and you do definitely try to avoid people. I hope we don't stay in that habit, but it's pretty cool because they give you room to move, and
I mean, there'll be some things that will stay with how we handle. There are moments that. When I got to this, I was never one who was a big huggy, kissy type of guy in Michigan, which is where I'm from. I come out here to Vegas, and all of a sudden there's a lot more of that.
Yes.
I suspect there'll probably be less of it. There's a lot more of the fist bump and the elbow stuff.
Right, all that stuff which you'll get used to. Well, Tom, you are absolutely amazing. He's singing Monday nights at
the first and third Monday of the month at the Piazza at Tuscany.
The Piazza at the Tuscany. So don't forget to drop down and see him. Absolutely an amazing singer. Has a beautiful voice. You're going to give me a couple of lines.
Can I throw? Palma, what was that?
You're going to give me a couple of lines.
Okay, yes, I can, because it's oddly enough, I did think about that. You surprised me last time.
No, I was surprised. Yes.
But one of my favorite songs, and a lot of people in the audience, they love this. This was from the movie Return to Me. David Duchovny, and I forget the I won't tell the premise, but it's really a great movie to see. Joey Guion did a lot of the songs in it, but one of the songs that he wrote was a tune called "What If I Loved You," and so I do that with the guys, and it's "What if I loved you and I gave it my all? What if I told you you're all I waited for? What if I held you tonight and I made you feel oh so right? What if I loved you? Would you always be mine?" I think it's a great tune.
It's a great song.
And he was, I guess, in town a number of years ago, playing on the Strip.
Well, that's a beautiful
song. So thank you, Joey Guion, for that song. I love doing it.
Absolutely. Anybody else you want to shout out to thank you?
Can I shout out my website?
Yes. What's your website and wherever?
Oh, that'll be on your
No, but I still want you to tell them about that.
It's Tom Mazzaro at TomMazzaro.com is what it is. So.
Yes. Okay. And you're also probably on Instagram and Facebook and all
Actually,
that.
I'm not on Instagram, but I am on Facebook. I do put that stuff there.
Okay. There's only so many, right?
I'm not technically savvy. My son would say I'm very technically challenged, archaic at times. So, but
absolutely wonderful. Tom's absolutely amazing. Watch out for him in Las Vegas and all the hotels and all the upcoming performances that are really coming to Vegas. It's opening up. It's looking great. Weekends are getting very busy and very full. So we love to see that, and it's absolutely wonderful. Stay tuned. Don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe. Vegas Live with Ninon. every one of you, I thank for watching us and supporting us and being out there, and hopefully we do the same for you. We'll be right back with our next guest. Take care. If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe. Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up, and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.